Where it takes us. Good afternoon. Thank you. I was just curious to understand what data or evidence there is to support the current entry criteria for both A and ACC Class 1, which is for palliative care, and the end-of-life pathway, specifically the requirement that someone be certified by a doctor or nurse practitioner as having 3 months or less to live.
So thank you, Senator. So we can answer, myself and my colleague here can answer the end-of-life pathway for support at home.
Sure.
The question around the palliative care in the ANAC will be one from my colleagues at the end of the table. So
excellent.
Ms.
Thank
Snow
you.
can answer. Yep.
So is the end-of-life pathway is a new pathway. We consulted over a number of years and we did have a look at the ANAC Class 1 eligibility, and you'll note that it mirrors that eligibility. So it is something that we will be looking at over time as part of any good program administration.
How frequently is the review process? When you say you'll be looking at it, is it?
So there's a formal supported home evaluation that will be undertaken. The colleagues in the room can provide further detail on that, and the end-of-life pathway will be captured as part of that process.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Senator, I think you asked about ANAC Class 1 and the criteria.
Yes.
I guess there's a form that's submitted to the department. It does require a health practitioner to verify that an individual has no more than 3 months to live in order to receive palliative care or ANAC Class 1. In addition, there's something called a modified Carnifsky score of 40 or less, I think it is, which effectively means that the person is largely refined to their bed. If those two criteria are met, and the form has to be submitted within 2 weeks of entry into residential aged care, the person receives ANAC Class 1.
Okay, thank you. And can the department explain why less than 0.1% of residential aged care entrants are classified as ANAC Class 1 when the equivalent figure under aged care funding instrument was around 6%?
So I think there's some context here, Senator. While to get ANAC Class 1 you have to be palliating as a part of entry, once you're in residential aged care, you can a provider can request a reassessment or a reclassification. Providers often do that at end of life or when someone, I guess, has no more than 3 months to live. And as a result, they would receive a new ANAC classification. And people pass away in every ANAC class. I wouldn't be able to tell you the number of people that pass away, I guess, in those circumstances in each class, but I think we have about a 30% turnover in residential aged care on a yearly basis.
And does the department have any data that would indicate what proportion of support at home participants the department expects would make use of the end-of-life pathway, which I guess would be you guys?
At this stage, we don't have data we can share on.
Okay. Is there an anticipated timeline when we can expect any form of data or information on how that's tracking?
We expect the first quarter of next year we'll have a much broader data set we can share.
Great, thank you. And is the department aware of the Inspector General of Aged Care's recent recommendation to commission an independent evaluation of the prognosis-based access criteria for palliative care specific pathways to consider whether they are unnecessarily restricting access to support? It was on page 51 of the Inspector General's recent report. On the implementation of the recommendations of the Royal Commission into Aged Care Quality and Safety.
So yes, we are. Thank you, Senator, and that will be wrapped up as part of the review process that Ms Snow mentioned.
Okay, and that will be also released sort of in the first quarter of next year?
That'll be a longer term.
A longer term?
Yeah.
Okay. But is there any form of, I guess, update on how that, implementing that recommendation? Will we get some form of an indication or update in the first quarter of next year?
We're happy to take that on notice and see what we can provide earlier ahead of the broader evaluation.
Thank you. And I guess you would probably take take it on notice on whether such an evaluation will be commissioned by the department in full or in parts, and what that's going to look like as well. Yeah,
Happy to do
okay.
that.
Fantastic. Thank